One thing I noticed after learning multiple languages is that I don't actually study every language the same way. And honestly, I don't think I should. Because for me, learning Spanish looks completely different from learning Japanese. And for a long time, I actually thought that was wrong. I thought I needed one perfect system that works for every language. But over time, I realized that different languages sometimes need completely different approaches. I used to think that language learning should always look the same. Find the perfect method, use the best resources, follow the same structure, and then just repeat for every language. But the more languages I learned, the more I realized that this doesn't really work for me. Because every language feels different. And honestly, every language also asks something different from me. With Spanish, I started learning much more through immersion from the beginning, partly because the language feels more familiar to me. It sounds more similar to languages I already know, and I can recognize similarities more easily. Because of that, I naturally ended up doing more reading and immersion earlier on. Even when I don't understand every single word, I can usually still follow the general meaning through context. And that makes immersion feeling much less intimidating. Reading, especially, became a really important part of my Spanish learning. Sometimes I can't understand enough to follow the general meaning, even if there are still words I don't know. And honestly, that feels motivating. Japanese feels completely different for me. The writing system is different, the sentence structure feels different, and overall it feels much further away from languages I already know. Because of that, I use much more structured learning materials and specific exercises. I still try to immerse myself in Japanese as well, but in a different way. Usually at a slower pace and with a lot more patience. Because with Japanese, I had to change my expectations. Sometimes I only recognize a few words. Sometimes I can read the script but don't really understand what something means. And sometimes I don't even know where one word ends and the next one starts. But honestly, I still see that as progress. Because even if I don't understand everything, I'm still becoming more familiar with the script. I'm learning to recognize patterns. And slowly, the language becomes less unfamiliar. For me, that already matters. I think language learning became much less frustrating once I stopped expecting every language to look the same. Because different languages need different methods, different expectations, and honestly, sometimes even a different definition of progress. What feels like progress in Spanish might look completely different from progress in Japanese. And I think that's okay. So now I'm curious. If you're learning multiple languages, do you study them differently or do you use the same method for everything? And if you're only learning one language, what seems to work best for you right now? Let me know down in the comments.